Um, Professor C's speech emphasized on the importance and the relevance of Professor Samir Amin's contribution to scholarship and to helping us as African people understand the realities, challenges, and stakes of this world. This he has done in an authoritative way from a scholarly point of view, and there is no need to even elaborate in detail on that. Professor Samir Amin has, among others, emphasized the importance of the role played in the global economy by what he calls militaro-financial capitalism. And all the challenges that stem from there, hence, oh, sorry. No, no, as Professor Samin has emphasized it, our world is really in disarray, in a very bad situation, and there is no need to demonstrate that. Professor Samir Amin was very deeply attached to Senegal, where, as the minister has emphasized, he has spent 54 years of his own life. So he's also claimed by the entire Senegalese people and country and government as a son of Senegal, and he also considered Senegal as home. For us who have accompanied him as his friends, we can testify to that. Samir has insisted to establish the Forum du Tiers-Monde, the Third World Forum, here in Senegal because of his attachment with Senegal and the importance that his country represented for him. As his country, he has built many institutions here or helped establish some of those institutions. According to Professor C's emphasis, excuse me, I have been asked to summarize, and there are certain passages that I have to escape. Yeah. Look, I'm going to read it as it is because it's a little bit difficult for me. We have to, among others, according to Professor Samir Amin, take into consideration the fact that this world is in disarray because even the institutions like the UN that are supposed to bring solutions to the evils of this world do not do it all the time. We have indeed to understand that the majority of resolutions voted by the Security Council of United Nations have not been implemented. But we still cannot lose faith or hope in the future because people continue struggling and producing knowledge that can help guide such a knowledge. And Professor Samir Amin was one of such thinkers. Okay, so regarding the Professor C's contribution, I'm sorry, these are the conditions of this afternoon, but we promise that we will try our level best to improve everything. So let me come to the address, the opening address by the Honorable Minister of Economy, Mr. Amadou Hott. I wish to thank the people, the organizers of this forum, and the staff of the Third World Forum, starting with his president, for having associated us with this important international symposium in tribute to Professor Samir Amin. It is a pleasure indeed and a privilege for me to be presiding over this opening ceremony on behalf of His Excellency Mr. Macky Sall, President of the Republic of Senegal, who wish he could have been here with us. Unfortunately, he is currently in Addis Ababa attending an important forum there. The late Professor Samir was a brilliant economist who contributed tremendously to the intellectual development and affirmation of Senegal, a country to which he was very deeply attached. Such an attachment has led him to live during more than 5 decades, as has been mentioned earlier, transmitting his knowledge to students. As the director of IDEP, the Institute for Economic Planification, Institute for Development and Economic Planification, and also struggled so that the Third World Forum has its headquarters here in Senegal. He was a brilliant scholar indeed, Professor Samin, who distinguished himself by his numerous and invaluable works on very rich and varied themes, among them the emergence of the southern countries. I would therefore express my satisfaction about this forum, which is aimed at magnifying his work and paying a well-deserved tribute to his very strong contribution to the emancipation of southern countries. That is why I would like to congratulate the organizers for having chosen the topic, the general topic, management of the multidimensional crisis of the world system, responses from southern countries. It's a very, very relevant theme indeed in order to pay a tribute to Professor Samir Amin. As you know, the reinforcement, consolidation of South-South cooperation is an imperative for development, and it is a guarantee for greater resilience of our economies in front to resist the shocks of world economic system. As a matter of fact, the partners, South-South partners, constitute one very important factor to share knowledge, competencies, and success stories, because they can contribute to create more jobs, build infrastructures, and promote South-South commercial or trade exchanges, on the basis of solidarity and on the basis of a common will to strengthen each other mutually. Beyond the theme, the central theme, however, the symposium is going to develop other themes such as governance of the world system, issues of sovereignty of peoples on their natural resources, and structural transformation of our economies. These are very important themes that constitute major stakes as far as development of countries from the South is concerned. Regarding Africa in particular, the South is concerned. Initiatives such as the Agenda 2063 and the zone of the ZLECAF, the zone for the continental free trade zone, African free trade zone, constitute illustrations of such a will of change and will to reinforce our South-South partnerships. Such a will for changement in Africa integrates the dimension of durability in the process of development, and it is indeed an aspect that consolidates the foresightedness of Professor Samir Amin's contribution to scholarship. Regarding ZLECAF, it is a crucial step towards integration of our economies as African countries, because the stimulation of intra-African trade will contribute to strengthen possibilities for endogenous and durable development on our continent. Regarding structural transformation, I would like to underline or stress the necessity for our countries to take advantage of partnership and of exchange of experiences. In Senegal, as you know, we have the Emergent Senegal Plan, Emergent Senegal Plan, whose ambition is to achieve structural transformation of economy in order to promote durable and inclusive growth. It is today in its second phase. As you know, the first phase has scored positive results. And as a result, Senegal has been classified among the countries with rapid growth in sub-Saharan Africa. I'm sorry for time's sake. You will have the text later on. So allow me, in order to conclude, to raise an appeal, a solemn appeal to younger generations and political decision makers to take the opportunity of this symposium for an ownership of the thought of the late Professor Samir Amin. I do hope that the recommendations that will come as outcome of this symposium, inspired by rich and varied reflections of the Professor Samir Amin, will allow the countries from the South to find their ways in a world system that will have to be more equitable and be more favorable, more propitious to development of each nation. On this, on behalf of President Macky Sall, President of the of His Excellency Macky Sall, President of the Republic of Senegal, declare open this symposium, and I wish you all the success and thank you for your kind attention. I'm sorry.
I have to thank the organizers of this symposium, because it has to be done here in Senegal, which I consider the second homeland of Samir, if we consider his birth country, the first one, Egypt. And as Mr. Sharif Salih, Dr. Sharif Salih has said, I have a very special relationship with Samir since decades, and I wanted to share with you something which has not been mentioned in all the tributes that have been done today to Samir, despite having a broad subject that, about his work, his life work. That is what I call myself, and some other followers of Samir, his last will, which is the text he has published just before his death. It is an imperative to build today the fifth international of peoples and workers. I call it his last will because I have been working with him very closely on this subject since at least a decade, and perhaps some of you don't know the history of this subject in the life of Samir and his work. It was in the highest level of activity when Hugo Chavez was attracted to this idea, and Samir did not have to convince him anymore. He was very enthusiastic about this, but as we all know, he was sick and died, and therefore the idea suffered a little bit in our work. But I urged Samir many times to write this very important text, which you can find in almost all known languages, in English and French and even Arabic and Spanish and so on. On this paper of Samir, building the Fifth International and how to understand the utmost necessity of that today, I have written a small article on it, which was called The Kick-Off. And the kick-off, you can find it anywhere in the cyberspace. It is about how to materialize this great idea of Samir in order to implement it and not let it like this, being just a great idea and stay idea. All of us know the relation between Samir and the World Social Forum. Samir was one of the very beginning initiators of this movement in a time in the beginning of the new millennium, or even in the 90s, to have any kind of bundling the efforts of the left worldwide. So everybody of us know the history of the World Social Forum, and it works in a curve, rising and then again going down, and it lost its momentum as a means of organizing the left worldwide, because it started as a movement anti-neoliberalism, and therefore the profile was just watered and was veiled after a few years. And then we had the new movement in the same direction, which was established last February in Caracas, Venezuela, which was called Asamblea Internacional de los Pueblos, as a continuation of the same movement of World Social Forum, but correcting the line. It is not anymore anti-neoliberalism, but it is anti-capitalist from the very beginning. But I remember quite well what Samir has always repeated. What we need is not a forum, because this is one of the weak points of the movement. We need, on an international level, on a global level, an organization in the classical understanding of the word. And okay. Okay, okay.
If there is any comments, if not,
thank you.
we close the session and go to the restaurant.
Very nice.
The restaurant is just here for
We shall continue later.
national participants. Yes, so you can conclude.
No problem. Okay, thank you.
La session est suspendue. Nous invitons nos autres étrangers et les membres du comité à aller au restaurant. À 14h30,
2:30.
14h45 ou plus tard, on commence les deux conférences inaugurales.
We ask our guests,
Les conférences inaugurales à 14h45, nous ferons la présentation d'un ses amis sur son enterrement qui va durer plus de temps avant de retourner tous les participants à l'hôtel. Et nous reviendrons demain pour suivre nos travaux. La session de cet après-midi, c'est à 14h45. 14h30. Il faut manger si tu veux, mais pas les autres peut-être. Au plus tard, nous commençons à 14h45. Soyez dans la salle à 14h30.
Je travaille avec Anta depuis 45 ans, parce que je suis l'un des fondateurs d'Anta, il y a 45 ans, en 1972 très exactement. Lorsque j'ai été choisi pour diriger l'IDEP, l'Institut africain de développement et de planification, qui a son siège à Dakar, en 1970, j'ai pensé tout de suite qu'il fallait créer à Dakar et autour un ensemble d'institutions à vocation pan-africaine qui permettrait de marcher sur plusieurs jambes, pas seulement 2, mais 5 ou 6 comme une chenille, et avancer dans toutes les directions. Et je pensais que je défendais le choix de Dakar. Je suis moi-même égyptien, africain, mais je me considérais aussi, du fait d'être directeur de l'IDEP et de vivre à Dakar, comme un Sénégalais, un Africain, un Sénégalais. Et à ce titre, je pensais qu'il fallait créer d'autres institutions et choisir Dakar pour leur siège. Cette idée était acceptée et soutenue même avec enthousiasme par le président Senghor, qui, comme vous le savez, donnait une importance particulière au développement de la culture en Afrique, y compris de la culture politique. Alors, c'est dans ce cadre que j'ai pensé j'ai créé dans ce cadre 3 organisations qui ont leur siège à Dakar jusqu'aujourd'hui. Le Codesria, en 1973, donc un an après l'ENDA, le Forum du Tiers-Monde en 1975, donc 3 ans après l'ENDA, et la première de ces institutions, 1972, était l'ENDA. Pourquoi? J'ai été invité à Stockholm en 1972, très exactement, à la première conférence internationale mondiale organisée par les Nations Unies sur le thème de l'environnement. Et j'ai été de ceux qui, très tôt, parmi les tout premiers, ont pensé que ce n'était pas une addition supplémentaire à la question du développement, que c'était une dimension très importante qu'il fallait intégrer dans la vision du développement. Alors, à mon retour à Stockholm même déjà, j'ai pensé un programme, d'abord modeste, en lui donnant le nom de ENDA, Environnement pour le développement africain, ou pour le développement de l'Afrique. Et j'ai négocié, notamment avec la SAREC suédoise à l'époque, l'agence de coopération suédoise, un soutien financier modeste pour que la création d'ENDA soit amorcée tout d'abord comme un programme de l'IDEP, parce que nous avions une institution et par conséquent les moyens de loger provisoirement l'ENDA en attendant qu'elle se crée. J'avais comme l'un des professeurs à l'IDEP, Jacques Bunicourt, dont les préoccupations intellectuelles tournaient précisément, étaient très proches des miennes sur cette question de l'environnement. Alors je lui ai tout simplement dit, écoute, tu m'aides à créer l'ENDA. Il l'a fait d'une manière superbe. Il a laissé Jacques Bunicourt, non pas seulement à l'ENDA, et non pas seulement au Sénégal, mais à travers toute l'Afrique et au-delà, un héritage de haute qualité. Et c'est comme ça que j'ai dit à Bunicourt, comme j'avais dit aux Suédois, vous savez, l'ENDA n'est pas destinée à rester un programme de l'IDEP. Sa création est amorcée à travers un programme de l'IDEP, mais le plus vite on pourra avoir une institution autonome, indépendante, ayant son propre accord de siège avec le gouvernement du Sénégal et ses locaux dans Dakar certainement, le mieux ce sera. Je crois que nous sommes allés très vite, quelques mois ou quelques années après, je ne saurais me souvenir de ces détails, l'ENDA s'installait dans ses propres... d'abord dans une villa très modeste au plateau. Je suis donc toujours resté, non pas un ami lointain ou un père fondateur qui oublie ses enfants, mais je suis resté toujours très proche de l'ENDA, de beaucoup de ces chercheurs, d'un certain nombre de ces programmes. Et je crois que l'un dans l'autre, l'ENDA a toujours bien fait. Rien n'est parfait. Et vous avez raison de vouloir de temps à autre faire un bilan critique de votre propre action, mais l'ENDA est une grande institution. Et la preuve en est l'initiative qu'elle a prise il y a à peu près un an maintenant. On s'est réunis pour la première fois en novembre dernier, donc novembre 2016 à Dakar, pour discuter du lancement de ce nouveau programme qui est très ambitieux et très important pour l'Afrique, RASA. Nous avons créé, comme je vous ai dit, dans les années 70, entre 72 et 75, 3 organisations pan-africaines qui ont leur siège à Dakar, Codesria, ENDA et le Forum du Tiers-Monde. Je suis le directeur du Forum du Tiers-Monde basé à Dakar. Et par conséquent, en dépit de mon âge, mais avec le soutien de collègues qui sont très proches de moi, Bernard Founou, qui est camerounais, et Chérif Salifsi, qui est sénégalais, nous continuons à animer des programmes importants. En décembre dernier, nous avons tenu à Dakar nous avons organisé à Dakar un séminaire de discussion précisément de l'alternative pour l'Afrique et en coopération avec les organisations, avec les deux autres continents du Grand Sud, c'est-à-dire avec l'Asie, la Grande Asie, et avec l'Amérique latine et les Antilles, les Caraïbes. C'était un séminaire très important et qui a été suivi puisque c'était à Dakar, par un bon nombre de Sénégalais, mais qui était organisé avec la coopération, avec la participation très active d'une vingtaine d'Africains venant donc de à peu près la moitié des pays du continent et d'une dizaine de représentants des différents grands pays et régions d'Asie et d'Amérique latine. C'était un séminaire très important. J'espère que ce n'est pas la dernière activité avec laquelle je serai associé et que je tenterai d'animer. Je ferai ça autant que ma santé et mon âge le permettra.